good.
Today we're being joined by Swan District's WAFLW player, Millie Edgar. Millie, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, mate.
Nice. Tell us a bit about yourself, what type of player you are, and what got you into footy.
Well, I started off as a backliner, and I've moved into the wing kinda, but playing a little bit of wing and a little bit of backline, just trying to find my new skill set in a new team. So,
That's good. So what got you into footy? How did your football journey start? How did it come about to where you decided to play footy?
So all throughout primary school, like year 1 to 6, I did athletics, and then ended up switching schools and ended up just going to a casual footy carnival and really enjoyed it, and asked my mother if I was allowed to join the local footy team, and she said yes, and just started from there.
It's really good. So obviously playing at the Swan Districts, and pretty cool honour for yourself recently, Millie, obviously making your league debut for the club last week in a tight loss. But how were you when you were told you were making your debut?
I was pretty excited, it was it's pretty last minute. We found out on Friday, but I was just stoked. Happy to get on the field with the girls with a league debut, and I'm glad it was with a tough competition like Claremont. Really opened my eye and made me see how big the competition is for league. So it was pretty good.
For sure, obviously. How did you feel getting told on the Friday? Did you feel like knowing the later the game, or closer to the game starting, is better than, say, knowing a week out? Or would you have preferred to know in a week out? I say that because of the potential nerves if the longer it drags out.
No, for me, I was pretty chill either way. It might have been a little bit more calm knowing a little bit later because I didn't have enough time to overthink in my head and get scared. I was going to be nervous either way, but probably closer to the game.
Good. So obviously getting your jumper presented by the club, in particular Jaime Henry, must be pretty cool for someone who obviously was in a draft year last year. Ripping person who I've had on a few times and did that goal king challenge with, or one of many. It wasn't like getting presented by her, someone who's probably someone that you looked up to, and obviously who's a strong player for the team.
Yeah, I love Jaime so much. She's probably she is a role model. She's a very good player, and it was special getting my jumper presented to by her, and it was all love, and she's a really sweet girl, and I'm glad she's following. Does really well in her next competition. So
that's right. That's right. And obviously playing in the game itself, how was it in the game itself, and how do you feel you fared in that game?
To begin with, I was pretty lost. I won't lie. First game jitters, I reckon. Just trying to find my footing in the back line specifically, and such a strong forward line with Claremont. It was a bit scary. I did well-ish, Definitely can improve on things, but it was pretty good.
Good. How are you feeling though overall though heading into this season? What would you say some of your goals you set for yourself this year?
Some of the goals I've said is probably just becoming a very strong player physically, just getting up that strength, being able to push tackles, push through, just push through players and punch the ball and just really get under there as a support player.
That's good. So what would you say some of your strengths as a footballer?
Probably my in-air touches. I can jump decently high and can get that ball spoiled. And I reckon probably my speed is quite a gift, just being able to take off and be quick on the field.
That's good. I mean, obviously, the reason I ask this type of question is because, playing these different type of, even if you're playing in one position, like these, aggressive players, speedy players, you kind of got to have it all these days, because if you're stuck to one position and type of play you might be, if you're struggling in that, you're more than likely potentially finding yourself out if there's someone in that team that can play your role and other roles on top of that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you got to have all the skill sets. I reckon it's good to have your strengths, but it's also good to work on your weaknesses just so you can be a vital player for any role given by your coaches or your teammates.
That's right. Now, you're obviously telling me as well, you were MVP in a losing grand final. Obviously, bittersweet to get an individual accolade, but then disappointing to lose. How was that day for you, and to also win the MVP?
It was pretty good. Wasn't expecting it. We lost by quite a bit, and I was just happy to be honest, and get to experience that. But once my name got, I was pretty shocked, and it was bittersweet getting that MVP on a losing grand final, but I was thankful nonetheless.
Yeah, right. So obviously, Millie, being in your draft year this year, do you feel any added pressure being in your draft year? Have you been given any advice on how to handle this draft year period, or how do you approach it?
No, I'm pretty chill, I reckon. I'm fresh out of school, so part of me is just wanting to focus on my work career at the moment, and definitely have footy in mind. But at the moment, I think I just want to focus on work and just focus on the footy player to begin with, just for my first year in league. So.
That's fair enough. Leadership aspirations, that's something, Millie, you've ever been a part of, or is it something you ever considered being in, or is it something more that you don't necessarily think you want to get into right now, at least, and more have that off-title leader? Because I say to people, and I'm sure other people do say as well, you don't have to be a leader per se by just having the title. You can be a leader without the title.
Yeah, I'm more of a laid-back type of leader. I don't like being in the spotlight, surrounded by everyone talking. I like just being in the moment, giving those good calls with everyone around me. I don't like being the centre and having to talk in front of a lot of people. I think just being that on-field leader, I like a bit more, and just talking on the instead of in huddles and stuff like that.
That's fair enough. Who did you grow up supporting?
I supported Carlton my whole life.
Nice. Also, the Blues had a good year in the men's in particular last year. How do you feel they'll go in both competitions, men's and women's, how they'll go into this year?
Hoping good. You never know, to be honest. The competition has changed. Yeah, everything's changing, coaches, players, skill sets. So it's always a hit and miss, but they're my team. I'm backing them. So hopefully we can get the W. We can get the premiership in both women's and men's. So we'll just see how it goes, but I'll be proud of them nonetheless.
That's very good. It'd be nice to get the double. That'd be pretty cool for any team that anyone supports. Who are some of your favourite teammates down at the districts?
Favourite teammates? A close one I've been friends with for a very long time is Sienna Pollard. She's younger than me. Lovely girl. Really funny, sweet friend. Naomi Bates.
Yep.
Loved. I've known her since school as well. Very, very sweet. Demi, I look up to Demi. She's a very good role model.
Yeah.
And getting to know Emma recently, Emma Humphreys, just coming back. So they're probably my favourites, but the ones I'm looking up to and the ones I know I can go to if needed.
That's good. So how beneficial is having some former AFLW players or players that are, say, some players that might be coming back for a couple of games here and there? I know they're doing that at some clubs. But in particular, Emma Humphreys, you mentioned, obviously she's been at the Eagles for a bit. So how cool is it to have someone that you can kind of lean on to know what the next step is like as well, not just hearing it from people, but like someone that's close by with you now, playing in the same team as you, who's been at that level.
Yeah, it's really comforting. It's really comforting to know you have that person with that higher skill set. She doesn't think better than anyone, and she's there to have a chat if needed. She'll pull you up if she thinks you're not pushing hard enough. She's definitely values and really pushing us to become better players. And she's just an all-around good player, teammate to have around.
That's good. That's exactly what you want. So, any coaches' pets at the club?
Coaches' pets? No, I think everyone's pretty. No, everyone's Ben, our main coach, is really good with everyone. Gets around everyone. None of the players seem to suck up per se. Everyone's really good. Everyone's really sweet, and no one really.
That's fair. That's the way you like it. If you were to use an AFLW player comparison, really, to the type and style of player that you play like, who would you say?
Oh, that's a hard one. I would say Knick-Knack, but I'm 5'0". I don't know. It's a hard one.
So you mentioned before playing midfield and having speed, someone that plays like a wing type midfield type role.
Yeah. Can I go for an ex-AFLW player?
And yeah, sure.
Yeah. Probably my cousin Tani. I've kind of molded my skill set around her. She used to play for West Eagles a couple of years ago. Molded my skill set around her, and she was a role model that I just would watch games, get her to help me. So probably Tani.
That's another added layer of having someone that's been at that level. You mentioned about Emma, but also having people that you know really well, obviously. It's obviously more important, and you can obviously just go to Tani for advice whenever you want, really, then.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's really helpful having her around and getting her to help me whenever needed. So it's pretty good.
That's good. Any outside of footy interests that you have? Obviously, you mentioned there about some other stuff you're doing outside of footy. Any outside of footy interests?
Probably just working and basketball. Used to play wobble and that, but now just play more for fun.
Yeah.
Probably and music.
In the terms of the music side of things, have you got any favorite songs or music, or do you play an instrument?
Yeah, my brother's teaching me guitar at the moment.
Oh, no.
He plays music as well. So
Yeah.
probably my favorite band's called Hot Mulligan. We went to their concert a couple of nights ago, which was pretty good.
Nice. That's good. Do you reckon one day you'll be one of these people that can play a guitar and be good at it, or do you just think more of a casual thing, or do you think you could actually do it at a different level?
Probably more casual. I mean, I only do it in my off time, and it's a good my brother. So yeah, more casual, just laid back, and it's a party trick. Yeah, I can play a bit of guitar.
No, that's fair enough. Hopefully it goes well. Favorite TV shows or movies?
Favorite TV show? My favorite movie of all time is Nightmare Before Christmas. Directed by Tim Burton. That's probably my favorite since I was a kid. That movie. Burton.
That's good. Yeah, this could go any which way. Who loves the limelight, the attention, and the camera at the districts, and they can't get enough of it? And I know for a fact, knowing a fair few of them, there is some contenders in this for sure.
Yeah, we've got Karis. Karis like here and there. She likes to get in it, which is good, and probably Kayla loves it, and probably Kingy. Yeah, Kingy as well.
Definitely. I can attest to Kingy and Karis being one. Obviously, they were both involved, and they were two of the of everyone, but two of the most energetic ones, the most excited in that challenge. And anyone that sees that video, you could just know by watching the video and know how energy. If you didn't even know them, you would know off that video that they fit the category that you said. What would you say is the best individual game you've ever played that's got you into the position where you are now? Because obviously you mentioned that you played as a junior, but then in terms of the league only coming in recently. So how would you? What would be your best individual game?
Oh, going back a while.
Could it be the Grand?
Yeah. Talking Rogers, talking that next level. Probably a couple of games in when I played for Sue. Had a very good individual game back then. Quite a few touches. Took my first specky, which is pretty fun. First goal and all that. So probably a couple of rounds into the 2021 season.
Okay, that's good. Obviously nice to get it. Nice specking now. So since you mentioned specking, I'm going to bring this up then. Mark or goal of the year? Which one would you rather do and why?
Mark. Definitely Mark. Yeah, Mark of the year all day.
That's fair enough. Any particular reason? Because every time I ask this, it's really 50-50, It tosses up and changes all the time. Any particular reason why? Well, you mentioned you've got a specky. Was that impacted the decision, or you want to keep doing it again because you've done it before?
Yeah, it was a really good feeling getting it, and I enjoy jumping, and I'm deep. So kind of like it might sound a bit bad, but I know it makes my opponent feel a bit shitty. Also, knowing jumped on in the shoulders, so I kind of like scaring the opponent and like, oh shit, she's gonna get up on my shoulders, and then since after that moment, scared to go up for that ball, and it's also good to just get it in your hands and fly for a couple of seconds.
It's very true. Yeah, actually, that's a very good reason as to why. Yeah, because I mean, they would get shitty because they might be on the poster as well if it's a really good one.
Sure.
No one likes being the poster girl in this case. No one loves being the poster girl. They don't want to be the one getting jumped on.
No, definitely not.
Mark of the year. It gets replayed 100,000 times, and you're the one getting jumped on 100,000 times.
Yeah, for sure.
It would make you feel good. Now, goals. What would you say is the best goal you've ever kicked at any level? It doesn't even have to be in an actual game. It can be a training, a piss take kick of mates. What's the best goal you feel you've ever kicked?
Probably in one of my community games in year 9-10.
Yeah.
The 50 and bicycle kick is in soccer. I did a bicycle kick into the goal, so I jumped, and flipped it out with my foot, and got in the goal. And I was just probably my best hit.
That's good. I'm just trying to think. A long time ago, there was an AFL player. I don't know if it was Daniel Wells. Someone done that. That'd be pretty hard to do. And I've never heard that before.
Yeah, it hurt. It's for sure. But
it would. It would. Now, are you a goal celebrator? Because I love asking this question. I get lots of different various answers and types of goal celebrations. Are you a goal celebrator? If so, or if you're not, what goal celebration would you pull out, or have you pulled out?
I'm more of a laid back type of player, but if I kick a good enough goal, I might do a bow and arrow, might fall on my face, maybe get some teammates around and do a weird soccer celebration. But
the Ronaldo,
do the little Sue.
That'd be a good one. And then the get around it, that'd be a pretty cool one as well. So obviously playing the districts this year, obviously we mentioned about how round 1 went against Claremont, what I felt getting to watch it back half of the game was a really good last quarter to see, and I've had a few of the girls on since that. So it's good to see that the effort was still there, where I think it was 20 something at 3/4 time, where you could have just given up, but it shows the determination to, keep going and don't let it blow out, and gave yourself a chance. I think with 10 minutes to go, it was only 2 goals.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but I feel like the intensity was definitely there at the end. We never gave up with girls for that. Our heads down. We never were throw our hands in the air and gave up.
Yeah.
On the ball, and we kept each other accountable, and we definitely lifted that intensity in the last quarter.
That's right. Now, obviously playing Peel, am I correct in saying this week? What's some things you're trying to work on this week?
Probably my individual play, because I might be heading back down to Rogers for a game or two just to get up. So I reckon just me as a player, just really focusing on those individual skills and helping my team and just keep running and everyone do that.
Yeah, that's good. What's something someone does at the club, Millie, that you can't stand, whether that's leaving rubbish around, just being flat out annoying, scaring people? That seems to be a trend these days, of people trying to scare people from around the corner or wherever they're coming from. What's something that ticks you off that people do?
I don't think anything ticks me off, really. I think myself off more than anyone else ticks me off. I catch myself doing some non-negotiables at training that I think I should probably stop. But not yet. I don't think I've been at the club long enough to have my say in that. But hopefully in the next couple of years I'll see something. I'll be like, oh, but yeah, everyone right now, ticks or pet peeves at the moment.
That's fair enough. So this may lead to, based off your comment here, what's some quirk some people would say that you have that you wouldn't necessarily like to admit? Because you just mentioned there about a few things that you feel you may do that might be annoying to some. Would there be any particular quirks that you have that you don't like it necessarily admitting to?
Probably my thinking process and my talking. I can talk very fast at times and not slow down and think about what I'm doing. And probably side of thing, it goes in one ear and straight out the other, and takes me quite a while to just focus on the one thing or that one drill. And I don't know if it annoys you, constantly oh, what are we doing here? What are we doing there? Or can you explain again? So I reckon I can tighten that up and start.
That's fair enough. So also you mentioned too about coming from Subiaco. So was that move something that was a tough decision to make? What kind of impacted that move?
Yeah, it was pretty tough being there for a while. I loved the girls and all that. I think just club decisions kind of put me off there for a bit, and also travelling distance as well. I come from the wheat belt, so I would be travelling from 2J every day to Perth, and it was just getting a bit much travelling that far, and Swan Districts is just that little bit closer to home. So mostly
that's fair. Yeah, that's fair enough. And I've been amazed to hear this amount of hours that some of the WAFLW girls have done for travel. I've speaking to some players, I can't remember who off the top of my head, but they said they were traveling 3 hours up and back for training, let alone a game. And it's good to see the dedication that a lot of you girls have, you know, just for a training session and then a game where, again, if the team you're playing is at further a distance where you live, just even more hours that or time to add to it.
Yes, it's definitely intense, but it just shows the girls in the whole competition work ethic, and then having to one night for training, going to work the next day. It's a hard gig, but we all enjoy it. Play footy, so we push through.
That's good. Now, some other sports that you've played outside of footy, you mentioned basketball. So how did you reckon you fared at basketball when you did play basketball?
I was all right. I mean, I played wobble for a bit for Hills Raiders and Kalamata Suns. Yeah, I was a decent player, but ultimately and had to pick one or the other because I was getting a bit too many injuries. So
yeah,
one or the other.
That's fair enough. What would you say is one of the worst injuries you've ever got? You just mentioned they're getting a few injuries over your time. So what would be one of the worst and longest injuries time length wise that you've had?
Touch wood, never broken a bone per se, but when I was doing a lot of footy and basketball at the same time, I ended up getting a stress fracture in my leg that I didn't know about for a couple of weeks, and I just kept playing on it. The pain was getting ended up getting an X-ray and finding out I had that stress fracture in my leg, and that was 6 weeks, I think, out. So.
That's fair enough. Would you describe yourself as someone who's not a great watcher of the sport in terms, I say that like if you're injured and you're having to watch instead of play, or are you pretty chilled with having to watch? Obviously you prefer to play, but are you someone that can tolerate basically watching instead of playing?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if I'm not playing, I want to get down there and support the girls and how they're playing, and I'll artist do whatever I can if that's able to running water, if I'm able to do timekeeping, giving the girls water, whatever, getting food. I'll do anything to help the girls. I'll definitely be down there every game, playing or not.
That's good. That's really good to hear that. Toughest opponent, Millie, you've ever had to match up on at any level, and if it's no specific player that you can think of, is there any particular team?
Pill's always been pretty strong opponent in my time. I'm really bad with names, so most of the time I'm not knowing who my is or only recognizing number.
Yeah.
If I had to pick someone, it was probably Jaime Harkin for a little bit on the weekend.
Yep.
Coach me at Subi, and she's a youth, you know. You have a little bit of nerves when she's running full sprint towards you. But yeah, probably either Peel as a whole team in strength. Jaime Harkin from.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, and Jamie, I've had Jamie on, and I've known for a while what a good, strong player at WAFLW level she is, and obviously, and I've had a few of you, younger girls that are around, you know, your draft year, and always mention Jamie, and it's just a credit to her about how strong he is. But it's also for you, in this case, good experience to play against the best players in the competition at your age now, to know how the WAFLW level is as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely good, that experience at this age, and like just like that when they were my age, they didn't have that opportunity to play at this level, and the game's definitely improved, and being able to do this and improve at a young age is so good for that.
Absolutely. Some teammates that you've been impressed by, Millie, they kind of fly under the radar a little bit and don't get as much appreciation as you feel that they should.
Probably Emma Nuna. She is a very good player, more laid back, chill. She's got a on her. Sienna, kind of more relaxed, chill player, likes to just go through the motions when we're in drills and that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kiara, she's a very strong player. Probably our whole back line, to be honest, is under the radar on our team a little bit more.
Fair enough. So defenders, that's a great segue too. Defenders, I feel like they deserve a bit more love than what they get. Obviously, in the AFL and AFLW, the midfielders and the rucks and the forwards always get all the attention, or the majority of it. Obviously, the Brownlows centred towards mids. Rucks get recognised in it these days, and the forwards obviously get a Coleman. Do you feel the defenders deserve their own official title of an award as well, since the other positions have one?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I reckon definitely for the media to have a defender, like a defense role. I reckon in teams everyone looks up to the defenders most of the time in their own teams, but I reckon in the big leagues and for the media it'd be good to have that own specific title and defender of the year and stuff like that.
That's right, absolutely. Have you ever had any AFL or AFLW player interactions, Millie, as a fan? If so, were there any memorable or forgettable moments?
Cara Antonio. She was my school teacher
Oh,
for
no.
my school for Cedar. We went to her last game before she retired. And that was a moment, and we got to go watch her, and she came and took a photo with us after the game, and it was good.
That's good. What are some fun facts, Millie, about you that people may not know about you?
Oh, fun facts. Fun facts.
It'd be fun.
There's a video on the internet of young me scootering down the road and falling face first into concrete. And that was pretty funny at the now looking at it. I didn't get injured, but it's just a funny little cartoon fall. I used a YouTube channel that I used to play games on as a little 12-year-old.
So you got a YouTube channel as well?
Not anymore. Yeah, definitely not anymore. I haven't done that for a while, but yeah, just doing silly things like that and making dumb videos.
Fair enough. Would that be something that you would ever consider bringing back? You mentioned, I mean, people do all these shorts on TikTok and Insta and everything like that, whatever platform people use these days. Would you ever be one to consider bringing some YouTube channel back, whether you do these little shorts, like, people that do videos on YouTube like myself, they don't all have to be long, lengthy ones. They can be short, sharp ones, like 5-minute vids, if that.
Yeah, maybe. I do like playing games here and there, so maybe streaming.
Yeah.
More time on my hands to relax. Yeah, maybe. Mostly just probably humor content, videos and games.
That's good. Sometimes that's a good thing. Now, this is the time of the night where hearts get broke, or teammates' hearts get broken. Teammates love you even more than they already do. Who is the best chatterbox at the club?
Kingy. Yeah.
Definitely. Absolutely. If you were stuck on a deserted island with teammates, Millie, who would you want to bring and not want to bring, and why?
I would probably want to bring Sienna Pollard just so I can annoy the hell out of her, because that's my goal every training, just to annoy people. That's one I would want to bring. Oh, I feel like everyone's really good.
No, that's okay.
It would be Emma Humphries. I wouldn't want to bring, because I feel like she would be too bossy.
The most experienced being the most bossy. Interesting. Is there any particular type of habit of, not necessarily a name, but is there a habit that you, in this case, that you wouldn't want to bring? Like, is there any certain thing you go, nope, if this person does this, they're not coming?
Negativity, probably. Don't want any negativity on a deserted island. If you've Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Flies.
That's very true. Who is the loudest and quietest teammates?
Oh, loudest. Oh. Probably Kingy again. Can hear Kingy anywhere. Quietest is probably Taylor Edwards.
Okay. Yeah, Kingy is always, every district's girl, I'm pretty certain to that, has mentioned Kingy in that category. So we'll have to speak to Kingy and see what she thinks of that. Now, away from the teammates for a second, what nicknames do you get that you like or dislike?
I don't really get any nicknames, really. I've got a pretty common name, so it's probably mostly just Mills.
Oh, yeah.
Mills, yeah.
It's fair, nice and basic. Sometimes the way to go about it. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Now, this is also controversial. I'm sure you've heard of it, Millie, but we're going to bring it up since it's always the talk of the town, food topic wise. is all these controversial foods. Is it this? Is it that? Should you have this on it? Should you not have this on it? So this is some of those type of questions. Chicken palmy. Is it a palmy or is it something else?
It's a palmy. It's definitely a palmy.
That's right. I mean, it's spelled Parmi. It's pronounced Parmigiana. It's in the bloody name. It can't be anything else.
It can't be a Palmer or whatever they say.
Yeah, it can't be a Palmer, a Palmo, a Palm EY. It's an I, and that is it.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyone that says that is wrong. Now, so we're 1 for 1. No one's ever got every question right. So I want to see if you can be the first. Everyone's got one short, and there's always one that always stumps me sometimes. Right. We'll see if you get to that one when we get to that in a second. So tomato sauce, cupboard or fridge?
Cupboard for sure.
2 for 2. Good start. Right. That's good. Now, this is the one that always most of the time this gets me. Pineapple on a pizza, yes or no?
No.
Good. 3 for 3. Freaking killing it. Good. Right. Now, a few more on that debated food topic. Actually 3 more. Favorite food?
Favorite food? To be honest, I've eaten a lot of chicken palmies in the last couple of weeks. I dare say I've eaten about 15 chicken palmies.
Wow. So that's an answer?
Palmy.
Good. 4 for 4. You're getting there. We're getting there. I'm afraid you're gonna say it with one of these just to see what happens. Now, food. Actually, no, I'm gonna skip that one for now. I'll leave that last. Favorite takeaway place?
Takeaway place. Probably GYG. If you've heard of that.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yep, I've heard of that, and a lot of the WA girls keep on bringing up that, or they bring up sombreros, and the first time I told the first WA girl that I told them what is sombreros, they had the reaction of your face you would never believe. They're going like, basically, what the flip? Have you not heard of it? Look, I heard the name, but I never knew what it really was. And since the first time this happened about a month ago, and plenty more girls that have said this to me, I now fully am aware what that is. What's your go-to GYG order?
Probably just a kid's burrito with beans, rice, and a side of the cheese. I don't actually know what they're called. They're just like these cheesy chips. That's about
5 for 5, Millie. We got one more. Please get this right. I agree, in other words. All right. This could be the one. That'd be the first person to get 6 out of 6. Food you don't like, or the food you don't like the most, either or.
Anything that involves sour cream, I cannot handle. Sour cream.
We have freaking done it. I agree. Finally, it only took me about 30 goes. Good. Right, finally, we've got one. Millie Legend. Now, that's 6 for 6. Yeah, no, sour cream, no, I don't like it on anything. Are you more just at all, or just on certain things, or just flat out no?
I had it once as a kid and didn't have a good reaction to it. I just I can't even stand the smell of sour cream. It just makes me want to yak. I cannot stand it.
I agree. Just rub it into everyone now. 6 out of 6. Good. Right. Okay. Celebrity crush.
Oh, celebrity crush. Probably. Oh, celebrity crush. Probably G-Flip, an Australian Idol.
Yep.
The G-Flip, or if I had to be a guy as well, probably Robert Downey Jr.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. Now, how would you fancy yourself, Millie, in front of the goals?
Oh, probably like it, get to have a go. Probably a bit nerve-wracking, but if I hit it, I hit it. If I don't, well, better luck.
That's very true. I mean, if you had to pick the best goal you would want to kick, it can be as unrealistic as you like. What would you like it to be? Would you love to be a check side, a torp, a banana, or after the siren, the moment, the occasion? If you could put that all together, what would you put it or make it to be?
Bringing in my probably my best goal in community. Probably doing a bicycle kick in the last couple of seconds of a game to win a grand final. You know, that would be a pretty.
That would be, and just imagine the scenes. I'm sure the scenes were great when you kicked that bicycle kick in the game that you kicked it in. But just imagine that being for the win in a grand final. You add that all together. That jump pile on, you might end up getting a blood nose or something out of that. I'll be shocked if you didn't.
Yeah, probably. I mean, yeah, but I mean that just means your team gets around you and they're all excited. So I'll take a blood nose for a premiership any day.
That's a good answer. Now a few more interesting questions to wrap up. So I do appreciate you coming on, Millie. Favorite music? You mentioned too about the guitar before, and you mentioned some artists as well. So who would you have as your favorite music person or favorite song too?
My favorite song, probably, it's called Free Fall by Rainbow Kitten Surprise. It's a band. I would just like to say I found the band before TikTok did, and then TikTok a sped up song. It's supposed to be a slow song, but yeah, probably Kitten Surprise.
Interesting. That's the one that you mentioned that you just went to recently, didn't you?
Oh no, that's a different one. That's my me and my brother's favorite bands together. He got me into like metal type music, and yeah, that's more metal.
That's fair enough. Game day superstitions, Millie. Do you have any game day superstitions at all?
Ooh, is that in like things you do?
Yeah, like do you have to have the same meal? Do you have to have a kick on the oval before, no matter what? Like the same routine basically. Is there a certain part of the routine that you're like, nope, I'm doing this, like, I know we're gonna wear the same socks, or I gotta wear one sock up, all that type of stuff. You can put it all together, or is it just one particular thing that comes to mind that is like a non-negotiable?
I've got two I've always stuck by since community. Always making at least one person smile or laugh while I'm walking into the change rooms. I enjoy getting those energy up and making everyone happy. And probably carrying this chain I have around my neck right now. I've had this.
There we go. That's very good. Very good. Jumper number. What is your jumper number? Is there any significance behind it? Did you get to pick it? How was that process? And what is the jumper number for people that don't know?
32. Kind of just came about. I didn't pick it or anything, but it's more about the jersey to me than the number. So I just like playing in the Swan District's jersey. The number's good, and it's obviously my 100th debutant jersey number, so that's pretty sick. But yeah, I reckon I play more for the jersey than the number on my back. That's
good. Obviously, if you were I've got two more questions for you, so I do appreciate you coming on. If you were the AFL or AFLW or WAFL CEO for a day, what rule would you add and or remove?
Probably if I was, how harsh penalties are for rough play, like rough contact, and allow brawls on the field. Probably, a couple of not punch ups. You don't want anyone getting knocked out, but just being able to have a bit of a scrap, getting rid of that anger in a controlled, like hockey when the umpires let two players have a fight. I reckon, just lower penalties for rough play.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you there. So two more for you. So, dream scenario for you, Millie. If you could map out this season in an ideal world, how would you like it to pan out for you this year, from now all the way to the end of the year?
Starting from this week, hopefully my goal is for this to be my last Rogers game, and just to play the rest of the season. Usually continue to grow as a player, to grow as a person with the club, get stronger, get better, and as a team, hopefully lifting up that premiership, but also hopefully making all the girls close with each other and becoming a tight-knit family and having fun.
That's good. Now, last one, so to do a project on. Now, I did mention to you about I had to pick a team in the WAFLW, and I had to come to a decision, and obviously I chose the team you obviously represent. So what can I and other people expect from the districts this year as a whole?
Very intense play, very disciplined play, very controlled mindsets and controlled movements. Probably we're wanting to be a lot more structured this year and just get that clean play going.
Very good. Mill, we really do appreciate coming. All the best for the rest of the season. As you said, hopefully it's the last Rogers game this week if that was the case. And then finish the year in the league for you and have a strong year. And then maybe something around the corner at the end of the year, if not in the future. So there's plenty of time on your hands. So I appreciate coming on.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, thanks for that.